for all of you modern steel pan players, up and coming steel pan players, one thing I would advise you to do when you're practicing is to play as soft as possible. Anything that you're practicing, play as soft as possible, slow, and then gradually increase the tempo, and eventually play it at the dynamic you want. So for example, if this is what I wanted to play, what I do is to practice slow, but pianissimo, extremely soft. And gradually, and I emphasize the word gradually, increase the tempo, but still maintain that pianissimo dynamic. And then eventually go to the tempo, the desired tempo. And the reason for that is, with the steel pan, many times we have notes that will jump out at you and surprise you as a listener or as a player. So what you're trying to do is to minimize all that, so you don't want this type of thing. You want to be as smooth as possible, except if the composer definitely asks you to bring out a few notes, so you want this type of thing. Okay, so let me speak real quickly about the individual performance. First of all, Kelly and Sam playing Fioco's Allegro. I've known Kelly for quite a while, and this gentleman really loves the steel pan. I mean, he's so passionate about this instrument. It's very inspiring. This piece, Allegro, is a piece that was originally composed for the violin and was transcribed for the steel pan. Very good performance. I would suggest that this is not just to Kelly, but to all of you. When you set your instrument up, for me, I like to practice with the stand a bit low. And the reason for that is, for me, steel pan playing is mainly about the wrist and fingers, minimizing on the arm motion. A lot of times, if the stand is too high, you're forced to be like this. Whereas when you drop it, especially when you're practicing, you're forcing your wrists and your fingers to do the work. Alright? So you want to have that nice flow. And all of the masters of this instrument, when you look at them play, they have that beautiful motion. You look at Lindsay Sharp, Robert Greenwich, you name it, they do it. Alright? Again, dynamic contrast, the loud, the soft, the sports sound, the piano, etc. You want to maximize on that. You don't want the piece to stay at one volume throughout. Then check the rubber on the mallets. They seem like they be in need of some changing. And then the rest that are in the piece, I think there are certain places where you need to observe them more. Sometimes you play just a quarter note rest, when it may be a half note rest, etc. But generally, good performance. Kadim by Moss. Beautiful performance, good touch on the instrument. One thing I want to emphasize you guys to do is to listen to different performers. Kadim, especially in terms of improvisation, I don't know who you listen to, but you did a pretty good job. I would suggest, if you haven't heard this recording already, check out Len Sharp's Sticks and Fingers.
Yeah, that's a good album. Yeah.
You guys know that, right? He played this piece on there. Check that out, especially for his improvisation. I know when I was young, and I heard steel pan players improvise, I used to think that they were just making it up on the spot, and there was no rhyme or reason to it. But this is definitely an art that you have to study. You have to understand what scales work where, what lines you can play, etc. And Bugsy is definitely a hero of mine, and any up-and-coming pianist I would encourage to listen to his playing, transcribe, and assimilate that vocabulary into your vocabulary, and eventually form your own voice. Just one more thing. Every now and then you're rolling an E and a G, and I think it might be on the 5 chord, the E chord, because you were playing an A minor, I think. So every now and then you do this. I think you may need to check that, because it might be a 5 chord, E and G sharp, or it might be an E sus. So it might be E and A. So just double check that, okay, for consistency's sake. But generally, good performance. Spencer, I believe, I shot the sheriff. Again, very, very good performance. Very skilled. Again, I enjoyed the touch, the tone consistency. Going back to the improvisation, I felt that maybe you can do a little more to create interest. And have you heard of this steel pan player called Victor Provost? Okay, you guys need to take a note of this. This is a gentleman from the US Virgin Islands, and he's one of my favorite improvisers on the steel pan today. In a few years, I'm sure he's going to be making a big name in the world of jazz. He's probably going to put this instrument on the map as a household. He's going to be a household name in the jazz world. I'm very confident. Victor Provost. He has a CD called Smooth Steel, and he does a rendition of I Shot the Sheriff, and I think it's in the same key. Check out some of his ideas, and again, transcribe some, get them into your vocabulary. All right? But generally, very, very good performance again. Kobe, are beautiful, beautiful, and I like the look. I think I'm gonna adopt those shades, especially when I play with the symphony orchestras. I really like them. Obviously, very, very skilled. I like the touch of the instrument, nice flow to it. Now, were you improvising sometimes, or were they lines that you had learned before? After you played the melody, you were doing something. Sounded like you were making it up on the spot. Were you making it up on the spot, or? You know what I'm talking about? Not really. All right. Well, some of those lines sounded like you were creating it on the stage, and some of them sounded maybe like you had created it before.
Yeah.
It sounded very well. I really like the use of chords, to harmonize the melody towards the end. That type of sound, that was beautiful. And just like I've said to the other performers, listen to different steel band players or different musicians generally. Find different versions of this piece, and get some more vocabulary. I felt that sometimes you were doing a lot of 16th note lines, which is beautiful, but sometimes people need to hear variety, and you can create variety without playing anything. Sometimes just leave a little space.
There you
And then speak again. See what I mean? Because I left space, everybody was wondering, what am I going to say next? But if I just keep talking and talking, they're going to fall asleep. They're probably falling asleep right now. See if you can sleep right now. That's it. And then the final performer, is it Charlie? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't get the first name too well. Beautiful performance of the Paganini. I'm a former violinist myself, so I understand what it takes to play this piece, the 24 Caprices. It was very, very obvious that you were nervous when you came on stage. So, I think you need to work on that and just get accustomed to playing
Matt,
more
I'm zooming in.
front of people. And in a sense, you have to, even if you're scared, you have to force yourself to look confident. All right, so that's going to help you in the long run.
That's true.
Your technique obviously is very, very wonderful, and your tone consistency is beautiful. And to play that piece on the double seconds or double 10, I'm not sure which it was. Double second? Yeah, it was amazing, amazing. Again, my suggestion, every time, now and then I'll listen to different violinists' interpretation of this piece, and in between the variations, they leave a little space. You may want to consider that, And for the same reason, I was speaking to the other performers about improvisation, but just so you get, you clear the air a little bit, and you don't get tired of the monotonous sound of any instrument for that matter. Leave a little space, and then the audience says, oh, so I wonder what's coming next, And, and then the very last thing, you made a mistake towards the end, and then you went, and it was very obvious, right, everybody? It was very obvious. You don't want to do that, especially since a lot of people may not know the piece. So by doing that, you made it very obvious that you made a mistake. And your performance was brilliant throughout, So that was a little letdown, right? When you come on stage, it's all about you. You have to be like a diva. You know what I mean? This is me. All right? Because I'm sure everybody agrees there was a brilliant performance. Can we hear it? So thanks everybody. Let's get it dance now.
Thank you to the end. We're going to give the soloists the certificates, and then we're going to move into the groups. Mr. Kayasa. Mr. Kobiada. Mrs. Kadima Sal. Mr. Divatar. And shall they help put the Alright, we're going to move into the groups now. We're going to start first with Dr. Robert P. Ingram, Elementary School Band, and their director is going to introduce them.